Welcome back to the Reconnection podcast. Today's episode is for betrayed partners who are asking one of the most important questions in recovery. How do I know if he's actually changing or if he's just complying? Dr. Barta is here with us again. Dr. Barta, this question feels critical because compliance can look like progress.
Mhm. Well, first of all, it's really great being here. Thank you. And yeah, compliance absolutely can look like progress because compliance often looks impressive at first, right? He's doing the right things. But compliance and transformation are definitely not the same thing. And knowing the difference can protect a betrayed partner's nervous system from being re traumatized. And that's the important part.
So let's start with compliance. What does that actually look like?
Hmm. Well, it usually shows up as agreeing to rules quickly, installing monitoring software, attending therapy because he was told to, saying the right words, offering frequent apologies, avoiding triggers rigidly, right? So he's in this full lockdown control mode, right? And on the surface, this looks like commitment, but underneath, compliance is driven by his fear. It's the fear of the consequences, the fear of losing the relationship, and the fear of being exposed.
So motivation really matters.
It's all about motivation because compliance says, tell me what to do so this stops. Real change says, he's asking himself, help me understand why this happened and how I can become safe. So he's not looking for his safety outside of himself either. Like in the last episode, we talked about the partner looking for safety outside of themselves. That's what he's doing too. If they're okay, I'm okay. So, but it's a journey inward and it has to be the restoration of internal safety. So compliance is external and change is internal.
So why can compliance feel so reassuring initially?
Well, because it reinstates a sense of control to the partner, right? After betrayal, a partner's nervous system is desperately seeking this predictability. And having rules and structure calm anxiety, but it's temporary. The structure without emotional growth does not create safety. It creates this need to have a constant surveillance of what's going on. And if compliance is the only thing happening, these partners may notice that there's emotional shutdown when you two have a difficult conversation. He may get irritated when you're asking questions. He's going to say things like, I've focused on everything you've asked me to do. What more do you want? I hear that all the time, right? And he's going to have defense instead of empathy. And that's because his nervous system underneath hasn't changed. It's still protecting him.
So what does real change look like?
Well, real change increases the capacity for connection. You're going to start seeing that he initiates honestly without being prompted, right? He's going to come to you. He's going to tolerate your emotions, and not just tolerate, empathize with them without defensiveness. He's going to stay present with you instead of withdrawing or shutting down. He's really going to seek the understanding of what's triggering him and how these patterns carry out in his life. And he talks about his shame openly rather than hiding it. Real change moves someone from self protection into vulnerability. It's slower, it's less dramatic, and it's oftentimes really uncomfortable, but it's consistent. So compliance asks, have I done enough? And real change is, how can I become safe within myself so that my partner's nervous system can also feel safety through co-regulation?
So, from a nervous system perspective, what's the difference between compliance and real change?
Compliance is survival. It's our nervous system still trying to survive, right? There's no room for empathy. There's no room for connection. It's behavior that's shaped by threat, an external threat, right? So I'm going to do something so this threat goes away. But when real change happens, then his nervous system begins to start to experience safety. And he's going to do this by practicing his authenticity, vulnerability, transparency, and presence. He's going to embody the 4 pillars that I talk about in my book and in my work, right? Because real change happens when the nervous system begins to experience safety in all these 4 areas. And so when someone's really changing, the partner's going to notice that their tone is softened, that they can sit with discomfort. They're not agitated all the time. And they no longer rush to defend themselves, and they take responsibility for what they've done without collapsing into their shame, because the shame is self-centered. So these shifts are telling the partner that his internal system is rewiring.
So, what would you want betrayed partners to keep in mind as they evaluate this?
Well, again, what I said in the last podcast, it's you got to watch for consistency over time. Compliance is intense and usually fades. Real change deepens slowly. And I want the partner to know you're allowed to take this time. You don't have to know right now. You need to come from a safe place in your body so you can observe, is this really happening, right? You are allowed to reserve. You are allowed to require the emotional safety you need, not just him managing his behaviors. So healing isn't measured in weeks or months, right? It's maintained through and measured through sustained presence. Is he fully here? Got it?
Yep. So this feels incredibly, clarifying. Compliance may stop behavior temporarily, but it doesn't create that safety.
That's right. And so what you are looking for, and really what the nervous system's only looking for, is that safety. And you don't need it to be perfect. What you need to acquire that safety again is consistency, honesty, that there's emotional engagement, and all of these are happening over time.
In our next episode, we'll talk about how betrayed partners can begin healing their own nervous system, regardless of what their partner chooses to do. Until then, thank you for listening to the Reconnection podcast.
Thanks, Corey.